It's a beautiful day to take a ride on the Faulkner County Museum Express. Thank you for joining us. Do you have your ticket? Well, all aboard for a trip on a short line with small cars through Faulkner County. I'm the director of the Faulkner County Museum and I'll be your conductor today. I'll give you a little history of this train layout and highlight some of the major attractions along the route. Conway and many of the settlements in central and western Faulkner County can trace their roots to the coming of the railroad. In 1871, Colonel Asa P. Robinson, a cartographer, was hired by the railroad to survey a route from Little Rock to Fort Smith, Arkansas. Much of the route followed the old military road near the banks of the Arkansas River. When Colonel Robinson finished the project, the railroad, being in short supply of funds, offered him one section of land at the location of his choosing. A section of land is 640 acres square, 1 mile on a side, so it's a fairly large piece of land, at the location of his choosing. The place Robinson chose, today's Conway, was an ideal place to build a train station. It was the last flat spot before the topography began to rise and trains would need to get over the Cadron Ridge. Conway was ideally situated to keep helper engines, or engines whose sole purpose was to help loaded trains climb the grade to get over Cadron Ridge. And so a town was born near the tracks. The coal mine and rock quarry. While Faulkner County doesn't have coal mining, it does have lots of rock quarries, and lots of gravel is moved around the county every day. The Faulkner County Museum Express travels near a mine that has multiple levels. From the train, we get an inner view of the mining tunnels, some of which are not finished. Faulkner County has a lot of rural farmland, and the train guys wanted to recognize our area farmers. Look closely and you will see hay and orchards, farming equipment, and someone training horses. The farmer checks his cattle as a crop duster flies low overhead. Industrial Park. Our layout's industrial park contains several imaginary businesses as well as a lovely city park. Each business or space incorporates the names of volunteers who worked on the layout. For example, Sophia Park, Rycon Industries, and Hanson Bakery. The train is now crossing Plum Creek, located on the southwest edge of the county. The creek flows into the Arkansas River, and the highway runs close to the train tracks here. The very first railroad station in Faulkner County was constructed at Plum Station in 1868. During the 1927 flood, the railroad trestle across the creek washed away, and the remains of the original piers can still be seen today. This area is a very popular fishing spot. Continuing south on the track takes us into Pulaski County. Ward Bus Factory. The Bus and Body Works built the first all-steel bodied bus, and at its height, Ward's employed over 1,200 people. It was the largest bus manufacturing company west of the Mississippi. Here we have the Conway Corporation building, the headquarters of Conway's local utility company. The Conway Electric and Manufacturing Company was founded in 1895 with $12,000 startup capital. As we travel through downtown Conway, you will see a replica of the first train station in Conway. It was a wood frame building that handled freight and passengers, built around 1886. You will also see the new brick station built around 1913, which served as a passenger station until passenger service ended around 1965. When the brick station was constructed, the wooden station was put on rollers, moved across the tracks, and it then served as the freight station. The brick station was demolished in 1974 to allow for the expansion of Main Street. Located just west of Conway, the railroad tunnel was built in 1902 and 1903. Completion of this tunnel allowed trains to pass through the Cadron Ridge instead of climbing over it. Engines could pull longer, heavier loads since they didn't have to go over the ridge. The tunnel was constructed by using prisoners from a convict leasing program in the early 1900s. Conditions for prisoners were often very harsh. Governor George Donaghy ended convict leasing around 1912, a move which some say cost him re-election. We are now traveling through the main switching yard. Up to this point, we've traveled through a scale model of the county. The next part of the trip takes us on a ride through an imaginary landscape showcasing the modeling talents of the Train Guides, a dedicated group of volunteers who built and maintained the layout of the Faulkner County Museum. Our rail yard. This is the place where train cars are loaded and switched and assigned their routes. On a good day, the Faulkner County Museum Express can run 7 trains on 5 tracks. The coal train alone contains 57 cars and is approximately 30 feet long. Much of this layout is automated, making it somewhat unique and difficult to maintain. We hope you enjoyed your little train ride through Faulkner County and beyond into the space where we built whatever we wanted to build. This layout is a 16-year labor of love with countless volunteer hours and tons of creativity. From the artists who painted scenery, to the engineers who designed and built the table, to the folks who clean the tracks every Saturday, this layout is certainly a treasure. Thank you for joining us.